Welcome back to the Don't Write That Book podcast, where you can learn how to write your bestseller and own your authorship. Follow along with us as we give you an insider's view of the book industry. Now, here are your hosts, myself, Mike Michalowicz, and AJ Harper.
Trivia question. I don't know if it's really a trivia question, just question. What's your favorite carbonated water, seltzer?
Zero.
Flavor? Zero?
Diet
Meaning no flavor?
Coke.
If you had to drink seltzer, do you drink seltzer at all?
Hardly ever. It would be like a lime, maybe a lime.
Yeah, limes are good. It's become so popular, I believe. They make so many variants at the store. It's overwhelming. It used to just be plain seltzer. But I'm drinking watermelon right now, and it's actually super tasty. And supposedly 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 anything. And the only ingredient, according to this, is carbonated water and natural flavors. I don't know if I buy that, but it tastes amazing.
Do you have any idea how old you sound right now? Like you're reading the ingredients on the seltzer.
Did you understand this? It's only carbonated water. There's no sugar. I don't buy this. There's got to be sugar in here.
So I landed on a flight yesterday, coming home from a gig, and landed in Newark. And we're getting off the plane, and there's these folks with these heavy New York accents. You know, that kind of accent. How you doing? Good to see you kind of accent. And we get off the plane, and the guy is behind me, and he says, I assume to his wife, he goes, "Oh, it's so good to be back in New York." And I'm like, we're in Jersey. This is my mind going, we're in New Jersey, pal.
That's because you're from Jersey, and New Yorkers consider all 3 international airports, LaGuardia, JFK, and all to be their airports for access to New York.
Their professional football team has nowhere to go except for New Jersey. We host them, and they're like, oh, they're the New York Jets. They're playing in New Jersey. Their stadium's in New Jersey. New Jersey's got your back. Yeah, you can see New York City in the distance. But God, these New Yorkers, they think they own everything.
I mean, let's not get into it.
Well, one last little story. This is not getting into it, but it is kind of funny because it brings balance. I was hanging out with a friend of mine, Damon Gersh from Long Island, and the misery, if you live on Long Island to get to New Jersey, like no one will make that commute, even though technically it could be as close as 20, 25 miles apart.
That was long. That could be 3 hours.
It could be 3 hours. And same thing in New Jersey, it's like if there's any place I don't want to go, it's Long Island. Long Island, I've been there. Long Island is beautiful. It is an amazing part of New York. The commute through New York City is miserable because you have to go through the city. There's congestion everywhere. It's just miserable.
That's how I feel about visiting our son in Brooklyn.
So, your son's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's in Brooklyn, where most of the 20-somethings are.
So, with Damon and his wife, Rochelle, my wife really hit it off with his wife. And we really got to, because we met on a trip, and he said, we really got to get together. And we're only 25 miles apart. And we said, well, why don't you guys visit us? And they're like, I don't know. And they're like, well, how about you guys visit us? We have a boat on the water. I'm like, I don't know. Like going to Long Island from New Jersey is a nightmare. How often do you see your son out there in Brooklyn?
Well, to be fair, it's not like we're invited.
That's great.
We're not really going. I think the last time we went to his apartment building, we waited in the car.
Oh, just to pick him up?
Yep. He was sick and he wanted to come home. He had mono, so I don't blame him. He wanted to come home to have his mono.
Have you seen his apartment?
I've seen video footage.
I'm in the same boat. Our youngest son, Jake. Now he's in Salt Lake City, but we have only seen video footage of his apartment. We do plan to get out there in the new year, so in early 2026 at some point.
But our son, we see our son. He comes here,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a bit of an island.
I got it.
It's all right. We had a lovely Thanksgiving with him.
Nice.
It's on December 2nd, in case you're wondering why we're talking about things.
I'm so happy that we say this because I've been listening to some of our shows when I travel, and we do say it often, like when we're recording this. It's so helpful because it doesn't make contextual sense when you're hearing some of the references.
We had a lovely Thanksgiving, Mike, I just want to say, and it was very quiet.
Was it you, Polly, and Jack? Was there anyone else?
And it was lovely, and he didn't want turkey, and we don't like turkey, so Polly said, hallelujah, I'm not making a turkey, and probably the first time she didn't have to make a turkey in 27 years.
What was did you have a protein dish?
He wanted steak.
Oh, that's not bad.
And he wanted a specific kind of fancy steak. So we said, maybe you should get it in Brooklyn and bring it.
Oh. Well, may I ask what kind of steak it was? Do you know?
Yeah. It was like Wagyu steak.
I was like, oh, porterhouse, maybe a T-bone. Wagyu?
Yeah.
Is Polly,
You better get that.
is she great at prepping, stuff like that?
She's amazing.
I've never cooked Wagyu and I've never had Wagyu. I just heard it's
She said you need a cast iron skillet. And then it's pretty basic. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ever.
I would let it rest. I'm just saying things I heard. I'm just quoting things I heard. I know nothing. But he did love it. And then we had sides. We had all the traditional Midwestern sides. And the only thing missing from our Midwestern sides was a relish tray. And other than that, we don't do those anymore because there's nobody over 65 in our house. So we don't need a relish tray anymore. But if my dad were here, he would wonder where it was.
Yeah. So I make the cranberry relish in our house.
Oh my gosh, I have to ask you a question. Did you go get pies from Michael Port?
Oh my God, yeah. Let me send pictures. I'm so happy that our team is insisting that we I just got upgraded to first class. I just got a text in from my upcoming flight. That's nice because I travel so much. So my daughter, Adela, she's like, make sure you show visual content on these. And there's the picture I want to show you. Our buddy.
Michael.
The 2 pies he made. So I went down and visited Michael Port. So if you're watching the video, if you're not, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm going to give a close-up picture. And Michael Port has retired professionally, sold his company, and followed his passion, which is baking. He bakes, I gotta call it almost an obsession. He bakes 12 hours a day. But when he steps into something, he steps into something. Look at that pie.
I can't. It's so great. And did you see he's been renovating his dining room so that it's an extension?
I told him, I'm not, the contemporary designs just don't land with me in homes until I saw their house. Their house is gorgeous. So it's Amy and Michael. They're both retired. They're finding their thing. Like Michael's found it. Amy's exploring painting and stuff. Amy's a listener to our show. And they showed me around the home. It's gorgeous. So I get there. I'm like, hey, I'll get there at 8:30. And I text Michael the night before. I'm like, hey, I'll rather get there at 8 because I wanted to spend some time with you guys. That's okay. He's like, no problem.
He's up at 3. So it's already been away for 5 hours by the time you get there.
Yeah. I don't know what time. Yeah. So I get there. There is one of those baking trays. Like I say, baking trays, like, on wheels it has like 6 racks high. And a couple of racks have massive cookies on it. And I sit down and, hey, you want some tea and a cookie? I'm like, my God, yeah. And Michael's like, don't feel compelled to eat the whole thing. I'm like, dude, I'm eating this whole thing. The first bite, I was like, this is the most delicious cookie I've had in my life. Finally, there's a cookie that has the right sugar salt balance. Like, a cookie has to have salt in it. And the store-bought ones, it's so much sugar that you can't consume it. This one, it was buttery, and I like the chew. It had the right chew, but the right crunch on the outside, kind of like a bagel would have a crunch in the chew on the inside. I don't know how he nailed it. And this thing was the size of a small discus. Like, it was a good sized cookie. And of course, I fired the whole thing down. And if they would have had me, I would have liked to stay for like 6 hours, just ask them questions. They're such wonderful people. Their journey is so extraordinary. The thing I wanted to know about most, and I'm pitching it now to our sister podcast, I'm going to call it, Becoming Self-Made.
I was going to say, you're going to have him on Becoming Self-Made?
Yeah, because I said, well, tell me about retirement. Is it what people tell you it is? Like, it's the golden years, you have all this freedom, this time, and this you save and prepare for it. They go, no, it's hard. It's a journey too. It's another chapter. And like, this is the stuff that we don't hear about. So I'd like to interview them. So it was amazing. The pies were extraordinary. Like, the biggest hit, Michael made a pumpkin pie that had a caramel base, some other ingredients, and then you topped it with streusel, which was in itself was insanely good. The final thing I'll share about that visit is I'm leaving, and he has like these containers to protect the pies, which was amazing, so I can transport them safely.
Bruce, is this everything?
He's like, I'll need the baking trays back, or the pie trays back. I said, oh yeah, of course. I said, I can mail them down too. He's like, okay. He goes, but if you want to drive them down, he goes, there may be a pizza waiting for you. And he goes, it's going to blow your mind. I'm like,
he's making pizza now?
Yeah. The dude is amazing. He could, and
I heard you're making pizza.
Yeah. Well, maybe you and probably maybe we should all like raid his home. The amazing thing is, he doesn't have a business thirst or desire around this at all.
No,
just wants to do it.
Away.
He and Amy donate to the local shelter that unhomed people can get a meal. And he says he prepares, I think it was 120, 150 desserts every month to provide for the shelter. Is this extraordinary what they're doing?
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. I love hearing.
When you find your passion.
I love that. And I also.
So this is the Michael and Amy Port episode.
Well, we've had a couple, but I think it's, yeah, I really was thinking about you. Did he get the pies?
Amazing. It's great Thanksgiving. And that was the capstone for it. Let's talk about how to leverage readings for book sales and book reviews. You have a Monday night reading. I get the emails. I've attended one, but you do it every month. Do you do it every Monday?
No. So let me tell you what started it. It's fiction authors and some nonfiction authors, creative nonfiction like memoir, or maybe something that's someone who's super famous. They routinely get readings and use readings as part of their promotional efforts. It's pretty standard. Prescription nonfiction, not so much. When the last time you went to a reading from about a prescriptive nonfiction book? You might be doing a webinar where you're teaching the concepts or something, but a reading, not so much. And so I really felt, at least my authors have great stories. It's beautiful prose. They should have reading. And I call it Monday night reading because back in the day when I was a playwright, the Playwright Center had Monday night reading, and it was where the core members of the center would get up with their works in progress. This is different than what.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And then it was a little bit like and then the actors would do the reading, and it was a little bit like a tribunal, a little bit, but it was called Monday night reading. And so to honor that and my root as a writer, I decided to start my own and just showcase authors. Well, that was several years ago when we started. Now we do them after one of our authors publishes. And so it's less about work in progress, although I think that's still a really cool thing to do. And it's more about celebrating the author as like a milestone on the journey. So we're recording this in 2025. I think we had maybe 15 authors publish this year. So that's how many Monday night readings we had.
Wow.
Next year, I don't know what our number is, but I want to say so far it's maybe a dozen or 11 that are on deck, and that will also change throughout the year as people get new dates assigned to them. Like, for example, there are 3 simplified authors who will have Monday night readings next year. One is Scott Tad. He'll have one for his first book, which is a Fix This Next Derivative. But then I've already talked to Brian Harriet and John Briggs about Monday night readings for their books, which I've only just discovered come out on the same day.
Yeah, I know. We are meeting in Austin on Thursday to plan the simplified marketing for their books. We're meeting face to face. This is something that Simplified does that I don't think any other imprint or publisher does. All the authors are gathering and we're saying, how are we lifting up Brian and John and Scott collectively? And how are we lifting up the Money Habit to collective intentional marketing? And I'm doing a reading for you in February.
So you're doing a Monday night reading for the Money Habit, and it's I want y'all to mark your calendars because I think this. Actually, let me tell you. Give me 10 seconds. This episode airs on the 12th. So yes, your reading is this coming Monday. So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, then go right now and register. So you can go register. If you just go to, we'll have sent an email if you follow this pod and you're on the mailing list for it. But you can go to my social media or Mike's social media and you will find the slot where you can sign up and register for Monday Night Reading. It's totally free. It's on February 16th. And our conversation will be different than any conversation that you have around the book. So we would love for you to join us for Monday Night Reading on February 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
That's right. So I started reading. I've never done that before live. We did a series, Andrea here from our team coordinated a 3-segment series. It was over I think it was over a week and a half or 2 weeks, but 3 different periods. And it was behind the scenes peek into the Money Habit, but I also read sections, not full chapters. And I, a couple times, take pauses, as I said in the chat, like, is this landing with you? Is this what you want? And the feedback was so supportive of the reading. But I think the greater indicator is you can watch people's attendance, live attendance, and it didn't drop. Like people stayed for the entire reading. It kind of surprised me. I'm like, why do people love readings? They do. They just do.
People love readings. I think they're actually more effective than, say, just teaching somebody something. And especially if you do a combo, they want to hear from the book. They like to be read to, as long as it's good content and as long as that person has practiced reading. I do think that's something that you don't want to just do it if you're not used to reading in public, if you've not done any public speaking, if you aren't sure how to handle that, then it could go left. But it doesn't take that much to learn how to read so that it's compelling. But people love it, and they're actually more interested in the book itself when you read from it than when you talk about it. They get a feel for it. They see how you intended it with your tone. They see your emotional connection to your own words. And then they're way more invested in the book than if you had just told them about it. So they're more likely to buy it, and they're also more likely to keep reading it.
So do you recommend, or is this something that would work after the book is published, or should it only be read before it's published?
No, it should be after. It's really an after thing.
Okay, so it's in the market. Couldn't they, they could just download the audio version of the book.
They wouldn't be seeing it live.
And so, okay, is it important that there's video playing out, that they physically see you physically reading it, or is it hearing your...
Yeah, absolutely. And do it in person whenever you can. Do it in person whenever you can. Yeah.
Okay.
But it could be in person. It could be over Zoom. It could be on a live stream. There's lots of different options. But the point is, people are watching you read in real time.
That's so interesting. Are you engaging with them? Meaning, as you're reading, you're watching the chat and saying, "Hey, I see there's a comment here," or do you just read? Just read. Just read.
That's going to be hard for you because you want to be interactive like that.
I totally want to be interactive, but maybe that's distracting.
It is distracting. It's okay if you want them to be immersed the same way you want them to be immersed when they're reading. It's okay if you have a little aside or something here and there, but mostly you need to bring the story home,
How much of your book do you read?
So what I advise, when we do Monday night readings, I like to space it out. I like to do 2 to 3 excerpts and split it up with questions in between. I definitely recommend that when you're doing readings that there's somebody who introduces you. And if you're going to break it up and have Q&A type, that someone is doing that for you. So you're not answering questions in the chat, or if it's in person, you're not leading the Q&A. So you need a person. It doesn't have to be someone who's specially trained for it, but it's better if you're prepared. So when I do readings, I have my questions in advance. The author knows what the questions are. Some of it's off the cuff, but mostly they know what's coming. And then we space it out, but you don't have to do it like that. You could just do one reading and then Q&A. I like to break up because it's hard for people to listen for very long.
Okay.
So maybe you're doing about 10 minutes of a read.
Oh, okay. That's super helpful. So you're not reading a full chapter.
You could. Well, I think it's more important that A, you retain their attention, and B, your first reading you do, whether it's the first of several that night or the only one, should encapsulate the main message of the book, right? So you don't want to just pull something randomly that you like, that you need to give them the anchor of, whether it's your origin story that you wrote in the book, whether it's high or specifically core message origin story, not life story, y'all, not life story. And this is the book, the foundation of it. So, for example, in The Money Habit, I would probably have you read the entire first chapter because it's of the way that it's structured. But it just depends. And then once you have established that, you can then do little or bite-sized readings, which I then recommend that it's story focused, because people love a story for a reading. So if you have a good story and or something they can consume by listening that is a game-changing thought to them. Okay. Also, inspiration works well. So if you've got a section that's really going to lift them up, they love that too. So you have to think about this. What am I trying to get the audience to feel here? Is part of it as well. So if you structure it with smaller readings in the night or in the hour that you do it versus just read, you'll get a better outcome.
So I had an interesting phenomena happen. So when I read the audio book for the different platforms of distribution, a book that plays out over, say, 6 hours will likely take me 12 hours to record because maybe I mumble, or more often I'll mix up a word or pronunciation. When I did I did 3 live readings. I wish I listened to this. We had this discussion prior to it, but I did do excerpts. I didn't do full chapters. It didn't feel right. I set it up. People were demonstrating they enjoyed it. I made almost no errors when I was reading it. I was more paced, more controlled. Have you noticed when authors read their books, I feel I get anxious and maybe would stumble a lot. Is it natural and fluid for most authors? Is there some rehearsal or practice? How do they do it so it's not this crumble jumble thing, or does that even matter?
It doesn't even really matter. No one really cares. I don't. I mean, it makes people nervous if you're nervous. So as long as you're chill about it, if you're starting to get stressed of the fact that you made mistakes, other people are stressed for you. But if you're not, then it's cool. I don't know. I'm actually not sure what preparation my authors do. But I will say this: watch a couple readings of other authors. Could be any author, fiction, whatever, and just kind of get a feel for that. And then try and read through it a few times, especially for length. Typically, you're going to do about 135 words a minute. That's the average, but yours might be different. You might be a faster talker or a slower talker. You might have content where you want to have a lot of beats or pauses. And so definitely test it out, watch the clock, see how long is this really going to be? Is it, I think this feels short, but is it really? So definitely take a little bit of time, but it's not like you have to spend all day rehearsing.
Do I need to start
in the beginning of the book and read from there and kind of work my way through elements? Can you
I think your first reading should be the setup. I think the first reading should be the foundational fundamentals of the book. It's probably going to be pulled from either your intro or chapter 1, depending on how you rock that. I think that's critical. And then from there, you're giving people enough that they can then extrapolate what's happening later. But if you don't give them that foundation, then they're sort of wandering around in the dark the rest of the time.
For everyone that's listening to this episode right now, get a copy of Write a Must Read, AJ's book. It will transform your writing experience. And I'm curious, AJ, with Write a Must Read, did you do these readings too?
I did them Monday night. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
And your book teaches so much protocol or function. My sense is when I read your book, I almost binge through it. I've read your book now. I think I'm about to start my third reading of it. I love, because it really just primes me.
It's me directly to get any information you need, but you like reading it?
No, I do. I really do. When I say reading, I listen to it. It's in the weight room. I'll put it on my audio and I listen while I'm working out. So
thanks.
Yeah. Well, could you read your own book, which is amazing. And there are certain stories in there. I'm like, oh, I know the story behind the story, like Jack and so forth. But I learned something new because I discover, oh my God, there's these basic principles that I just never really understood or absorbed before. So that's why I listened to it again.
I mean, that's always true, right? When you read something and then you have more experience and you read it again, the penny drops in a new way.
Exactly. So my question is, your book, it's structured with certain protocols and it kind of builds and assembles to writing a must read. Where did you get started in reading your own book when you do these?
For my reading?
Yeah.
I don't remember, honestly. By the way, it's up on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where all my Monday night readings.
I was about to ask you that too. So you preserve it on YouTube so people watch it anytime.
Yeah, you can go watch almost all my authors do Monday night reading. So you can go watch. Also, Michael Port's done one since we talked about him earlier. Yeah. He was so excited to do it because nobody ever asked him. 9 books, New York Times bestselling author, actor, was on many TV shows and in movies. And then renowned, big deal, main stage keynoter. Had never been
the best in the world.
Had never been asked to do a reading. No one ever asked him.
You know why? Because if you did a reading, particularly in person with Michael Port, you'd be salivating over what he's baking and you just get so distracted.
Well, he wasn't baking then.
Well, you just feel it in him. He always had that baking aura around.
You know what I mean? It's like they don't get asked.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I'm just kidding around, but yeah.
And then yours is there from when you did it the last time, and also, authors, they're lesser known, but we've had some amazing readings. Holy cow! And then sometimes it's people struggle through their readings for sure. But so I think it's all an education.
You said earlier, in person or virtual. What's the benefits of either? And do you have platforms or suggestions of where to do
so
these?
If you want to do, first of all, you don't have to wait to give in a reading, okay? You can create your own reading. You can set one up, get somebody to host it for you. You could do readings with other people and have a night of readings. My suggestion would be to try a combination. You could do a virtual one that a lot of people can attend, but maybe do one locally, and then get a couple of other local authors and do a night of reading. Their audience comes, your audience comes, and then get somebody to shoot video of it or photos or whatever. Go to do readings at bookstores. If you might be a harder sell if you're prescriptive nonfiction to get a bookstore to do a reading, but you can explain to them, hey, there's a lot of great stories in here, and I think let's do a Q&A. I've got the questions ready. Here's the excerpts that I want to read. This is my strategy for doing it. I can bring, this kind of experience for people. Go into bookstores and do readings and offer that. People love to go to reading. people love to go. I go whenever I can. I just Google when I have free time, readings in my area. Book readings.
Is that what to Google? That's the exact phrase?
That's what I don't know. That's what I Google. And then I also will check out, libraries have them a lot, bookstores have them a lot, and I just go to their event pages. And I just love to go. I just love to learn and listen to other authors. It's an important thing to do as an author. And I want to say that for most of our listeners are prescriptive nonfiction writers, most, not everyone. I feel prescriptive nonfiction authors tend to be more disconnected from authorship in general, from traditional authorship, from the publishing world, from interactions with other authors. And I don't know if it's why that is. If you go over to the fiction world, that is the family. Like, those people are with each other all the time. They're at events all the time. And it's lovely and it's invigorating and it's part of it. And I think so many authors are missing out on having these experiences. Just go, listen, participate, support people.
I had 2 readings I remember that I did. One, I can't remember, it may have been the Pumpkin Plan. I did at Barnes & Noble's in New Brunswick, and I didn't promote it, but there was 30 people there. I mean, I must have promoted it in some regard because some people knew me, so it must have been like 30 people there or something. It was a good reading, and then Barnes & Noble sold books, so they were happy. And if they sell 10, 20 books, that's income for that. That's hundreds of dollars. I then did a reading at Little Point Bookshop. We did a TV show down there filming the bookshop, and I wanted to support this bookstore owner. And I said, hey, I'll do a reading down here. And we promoted it. But only 3 people showed. It was just a weird location. And it was still a blast. And it wasn't like now sitting with a lectern in front of me reading a book. It was me reading, and then there was a discussion that broke out. And she sold 20 books because one of the people there bought 18 copies. So it still worked out. I think the biggest element that the authors overlook is their own effort to promote. How did you promote, or how do your authors promote their virtual or live readings?
Well, we promote it with an email and some social media. We do graphics for it. We have a themed graphic for the entire year. So we're moving into 2026. So we'll have a different graphic for that year. We send that to them. We recommend that they send it out. And then beyond that, it's just social media and mailing list. And I would also, though, when it's a reading, this is a great way, by the way, to get people who are in your orbit, but they don't really understand this book thing you're doing, friends and colleagues and so forth. This is a great way an event to bring them to, because they don't want to sit through a webinar where you're teaching something if it's not their bag, Yeah. But they'll come to a reading. That's fun for them. They want to see you perform almost. It's like you're in your second grade talent show and they want to come see you do it. So I would also then send personal invites. I would say, hey, I'd really love for you to come. I'm going to do this reading. It's free. Would you mind coming? It would mean a lot to me. And just do some personal invites.
Yeah, and I think fellow authors, to your point, it maybe not the direct consumer of your book, but maybe collaborative folks, fellow authors to come down. You can support each other and have them invite their audiences. It's all about audience expansion. I think if you're doing it at a bookstore, they have a list of customers, and you can work with them to send video messages. So instead of just like, hey, we have an author coming, and you can embed a video of yourself saying, I can't wait to come to Little Point Bookstore, and this is what we're going to talk about. And maybe you never heard of me, but you've heard of this bookstore because you've been here before, and I'd be honored if you come down and support them. And I got something to share with you that's real.
And you know what? This is something that fiction authors don't generally do, but the entrepreneurs that write prescriptive nonfiction, the folks that are thought leaders or in this space, y'all use the same stuff you would use to get people to do things. So what if you did some sort of special bonus for people who came down to the reading?
I like that.
Maybe you're going to hand them something special in person. That's an extra thing they get to do. Who knows what it's going to be? You will get them there. So just what I found is that authors come into the publishing space and wait for permission for everything. Wait for what are the rules of this new planet. And fair, we should learn the rules of the planet. But just know that the rules of the planet, it's like the oldest planet around, and everyone's a stick in the mud. You know? So they haven't thought an author, wait, what? You're going to give my people a free something?
Yeah.
Nobody said anything to them. And when you do, they're going to say, oh, that's so cool. You would do that, you know? So I guess apply your ingenuity to the new planet that you are on. Like, it's just so funny. It's like everything is like, you know, the people, it's like being at a middle school dance and you're up against the wall waiting for the person across the way to ask you out to dance, but you won't go dance. And so there's just one wall with everybody just standing there and another wall with everybody just standing there. And it's kind of like that in publishing where a new author comes in and they just feel like, am I allowed to be here? Yes. So the things, the strategies you might employ in the rest of your life, also give them a shot. The worst that can happen is no.
So you also has an opportunity to sell your book, and I want to share the worst kind of pitch ever I've seen and what I think is a far better pitch. So I saw a regional celebrity, television person, do a speech. What?
Regional celeb? Like a...
Regional celeb. Yeah, a regional celeb. So someone outside the Northeast, particularly the New Jersey area, wouldn't recognize his name. And it's a guy. He does a speech, and it was fine. And at the end, he goes, I just wrote a book. Buy my book. Like, literally, that was his pitch. It was like offensive. And there was a booth out there and no one bought a book. I found a far better way to move books. But, you know, listen, some people do.
Who was behind you on the plane? Who was coming off the...
but it's similar characteristics. But often that is the pitch. Like, hey, I have a book. It's, you know, the tonality is a little different. I have a book. I'd love for you to buy it. People don't buy books because you want them to buy it. It's like, hey, I have a car in my car. You should buy my car. I have a car in my car lot. Buy it. People are looking to satisfy a need, and they also want to understand the reason for your motivation for selling it. So a salesperson could say, hey, you're looking for a car. I'd like to help you find your car. Or a salesperson could say, hey, I heard you're looking for a car. I'm going to help you find your car. And I do earn a commission. This is how I make my living. So let's find a car that serves you. And selfishly, you're serving me. Thank you. People love that, to understand the truth, because otherwise there's some form of manipulation, some strings being pulled. So do the same as an author. So I'll tell people in my presentation, hey, I've written a book. It's called The Money Habit. And dollar for dollar, I think it's the greatest investment you can make in overcoming financial worry and achieving financial independence. And it's only $30. But there's a second reason. I think it'll serve you deeply, and that's why I'm asking you to consider the book. But there's a selfish reason I'm also asking you to get the book, is when you get the book, it further markets the book, because the algorithms, if you buy electronically, and I give the explanation, and it sells remarkably more books, because people that are on the fence saying, oh, you know what, I'll buy, if it's for me, I'll buy it when I'm ready. If it's because this guy who's also being served, I'll be ready at some future point, but that will tip me and I'll do it now. And I'd say in our live presentations, consistently 30% of the attending audience will buy in that moment when I say that. If I simply say get the book, I would be surprised if it's more than 15%. So that's how you do it. And you can do that live. You can do it on your books. I've done it from speaking engagements. It's the most integral way to move books. And it works.
Yeah, I love that.
The backup strategy too, if people already bought books, is to ask them for a review on the platform of choice, Goodreads or Bookshop or Amazon. I did this.
Getting reviews is a big part of what we do at Monday Night Reading. We actually dedicate a whole part of it to doing group reviews in that moment.
Another, and this is super significant, probably a big driver too, is invite people to message you if it's a virtual one when they order your book, just to say ordered, and they can send it to the entire group. I encourage people to do it to the entire group because then other people can acknowledge it or tell you, but then thank them. Because it's a social proof mechanism. It proves it's happening, but also inspires other people to do it.
Yeah.
If right now in this podcast, if we say, hey, get a copy of Write a Must Read, it's going to transform your life. And it's all true. And by the way, if everyone listening to the podcast right now, which is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, all do it, Write a Must Read will be a top 100 book on Amazon for a day or two. And that will really trigger the algorithm to move it. So the request is out there. And this is a true request. So please do it. But most people won't do it because it's a passive consumption. There's no way to acknowledge they've done it. So they can say, well, Mike and AJ will never find out if I did. So yeah, maybe I will to help them out, but maybe I'll do it in the future. So make sure you have that. If you have a live audience, some form of acknowledging it. If it's in a personal audience, I've done this before, just have people raise their hand or give a thumbs up. Or if you really want to be bold and still have that kind of anonymous thing, is have people text you. So you can pull your phone out and say, here's my number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Text me and just write the word ordered on it so I can just acknowledge you from stage. So that's another way to do it.
Yeah, I love that.
What if no one shows? Like I had a 3-person event, live reading. Do you ever have, can you beat 3? What's your number?
I had a reading and it was at the wrong time of day. And
This is one time a day.
like noon.
Okay.
It was organized by someone else, and I did not organize it. And by the time I realized it was going to be at noon, I couldn't do anything about it. There was, I came with my friend who drove me.
Okay.
So
So you once you heard it was a noon, you wouldn't have done it?
if I could have gotten out of it, I would have gotten out of it. Because I knew no one's coming to a reading at noon on a weekday. Who's coming to this? No one. No one's doing it. Find a good time. Find a time that's outside of the workday. Or if it's going to be noon, it can be on the weekend. But not, so it was not a good situation. My friend Anne Reeves drove me there. And Anne Reeves was the only person in the audience. Yeah. She was great. She sat right in front. Of course, like, what is she going to do? All these empty seats. She sat in front and I was implored to go ahead and do it. So I did. I did the whole thing in front of Anne Reeves.
And so
And it was an empty room.
So what is the learning for? Is there a learning? Is it you just do it and show, cry inside?
Well, first of all, don't, once you gotta, if you committed, go ahead and do it. But secondly, pick the right time and promote the heck out of it.
Yeah. So sometimes one person will show. I did a keynote. I flew from New Jersey to California. I think I've shared a story before, to UCI, which is University of California, Irvine, to speak to, this is during the toilet paper entrepreneur years, to speak to an audience of students that were in a business fraternity, other fraternities, and they promised 50 to 100 people. I get to the room for 50 to 100 people 30 minutes before, and there's one kid there. I'm like, oh, when's everyone showing up? And he looks at me, and he looks down at his phone and goes, no one's going to show. I said, why? He's like, there's a big party going down, bro. He broed me. I was, in my 40s, and this guy's like 18. He's like, bro. I was like, oh. And I did the speech anyway, and it's the best speech I've ever given in my life. The speech sucked. The most important speech, I should say. It's the best speech because inside I was dying and crying because there's that kid had to stay there. He was obligated, and he's looking at his phone, like people are texting, what's going down? Oh, we're doing beer taps and stuff. And I just do the speech to nothing. But I remember also saying, if I can do this, I can do it anywhere. I can do anything.
I mean, it was in the same boat. You had the person who organized it. He was stuck there waiting until you were done so he could go join the party. Anne was my ride home. So she had to be there.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, when you can do that, you can do anything. So I think it's a gift for all of us to get the humbling sandwich, the humble pie.
But most readings aren't like that. Most readings are delightful. People want to hear you read. They're really impressed. This is the thing that I think authors forget while they are mired in their own insecurities. And people who don't write books are fascinated by people who do. And so if you go do the reading, it's going to be great. It's just
That is such a powerful line. People who don't write books are fascinated by people.
for sure they are.
That is amazing. Oh my God. That was all the juice of this episode. Put in one sentence. I have one little bonus tip. I want to save it for a little surprise toward the end, so people don't do that fast forward. Anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap it up?
No, just do readings and tell us about it. If you do one, let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Email us about it.
My book's called The Money Habit. It just released when you're listening to this episode. Go to your favorite platform. If you want to transform your personal finances as an author or otherwise, I think this is the book that will do it for you. And selfishly, if you do get a book, it helps me promote the book because algorithms market it. Hey, drop me an email. There's bonuses and so forth. Just email me at mike@mikemichalowicz.com and say, bought the book but missed the bonuses. If you did, and I'll see if I can sneak something in. Just include your receipt with that. AJ, you have retreats going on. ajharper.com is a place to go. Who knows? Because we record these so far in advance if it's booked up. If it is booked up, what is there anything left, or people are just this out of luck?
So I do an annual workshop, Top Free Book Workshop, for 15 approximately students every year. There's that. That's a big time and financial commitment. I do also have a membership that people can join, which is a great way for folks to be in my orbit, learn from me, connect with other authors who are like-minded in terms of their values around writing something excellent, and not just learn about the craft, but also to navigate the industry, which is its own slippery slope. So we have a membership community you can learn about as well. But the retreats are really the time. If you want to come work with me in person, I hold them on an island, and we love it there, and it's an incredible experience. I only have 24 available slots every year, and a bunch of them are already taken. So you definitely want to go see if there are any left.
I had dinner with Garrett Gunderson in New York this past weekend. Yeah, him and Carrie, his wife, and my wife. We went to see Oh Mary, which was a Broadway show. Yeah, it was amazing. And then we went out to dinner together. I met his two sons, just wonderful kids. And he's bragging. He's like, I'm heading to Madeline Island, baby. I think he's coming out. He's doing a one-day workshop or something. So maybe it wasn't Madeline Island.
Well, I do a VIP thing just a couple times a year for people.
That's what he was talking about. Is that at Madeline Island also? Okay. Yeah, that's why he was saying it.
Really? Like it's all me and just that person.
You should, on Lake Superior, set up some kind of device where it's just under the water so Garrett can walk across it so he looks like he's walking on water. Yeah, he looks like the prototypical Jesus with his hair and stuff. Just have him come out there.
There's a swim there that's called the Point to La Point swim, and it goes from the kind of by the ferry dock all the way to the island, and you swim it. And then there's usually hundreds and hundreds of swimmers who do it every year. It's in August. Come from all over the world. He should do it and then come out of the water.
I challenge that. I don't know if he should do it. I think you should make a massive investment in an underwater treadmill that moves with him. So as everyone's swimming, he just walks amongst them, above them.
A 2-mile treadmill.
The 2-mile treadmill. I mean, it's going to be costly, but for the gag. All right. Before we wrap things up, I do have one more tip. And this has been a game changer in me doing the 3 live readings I did. But before I share it, go to DWTB podcast. Don't write that book, podcast.com to get our materials. You can sign up for our email list so you don't miss a single episode. AJ prepared tons of free materials for you that will really serve you in your journey that you can get there. I really encourage you to get Write a Must Read and go to ajharper.com to learn all that's going on. Plus, we talk about it every so often. We got an imprint. We talked about it last week with page 2. It's called Simplified. So if you're an entrepreneurial author, email us at hello@dwtbpodcast.com and say, I'm the author you're looking for. And we can see if perhaps you're fit for our imprint, just like Scott Todd is, John Briggs, Joey Coleman, and all these other amazing authors that are with us. Now, here's the tip I wanted to share, AJ. I have an overhead, and I was looking at mine here. I have one in my home office. The only thing I can read off says IPEVD. So maybe if you go onto the retailer of choice and type that in, But if you simply type in HDMI overhead, I'll do it on the screen right now, cut over to the overhead, and you can see my hand there. When I do a reading, I actually show the book that I'm reading and cut to it, and people were going crazy over that. And hey, can you zoom in so I can follow along? So that is a tip for your virtual readings. As a reminder, please don't write that book. Write the greatest book you can.